Welcome to Motor Events Racing. I'm the captain and I'm here to give you a rundown on what to expect when you turn up to one of our events. Now, the first thing you've got to realise is we're not like other race series. We are a fun weekend away participating in a motorsport event on a track, and we're there to have a bunch of fun and we're there to raise money for Rare Cancers Australia. So, you've got to remember, you're not a V8 supercar driver, you're not an F1 driver, no one cares how fast you can go. It's all about doing a lot of laps and having a lot of fun and a lot of laughs. So you'd hear this many times in our briefings, and we talk about motor events racing is not that serious, but it is a hell of a lot of fun. So please, keep that front of mind. You're here to have fun. Now, because we bracket cars in different brackets, and we've got a lot of different cars and a lot of different powered cars and a lot of different drivers and a lot of different driver skill, it's up to us to make sure that we're aware of this and that we're being very courteous and aware of our surroundings. So not only are you looking forward to where you're going, but you're always checking your mirrors and you're seeing who's around you to make sure that you and your fellow competitors don't get in any sort of strife. So, to help with this, the faster cars always have the right of way. There's no point if you're a slower car trying to block someone that's going to fly past you anyway. You're not in the same bracket, you're not competing for the most laps against each other anyway, so it doesn't matter. Help each other, get around each other nice and safely. So, how do we do that? Well, there's a few rules for that, right? Faster cars have the right of way, but it is their responsibility, if you're the overtaking vehicle, to make sure it is done safely. So we don't want any dive bombing, we don't want anything unnecessarily happening in corners. Stick back, let the slower car keep their racing line and overtake them only when it's safe to do so. That's your responsibility. Slower cars, don't get rattled, just once again hold your racing line and just make sure you help facilitate a safe overtake when the time comes to do it safely. Now, at all of our events, if you're new to a racetrack and you just want people to give you a bit of space and so you can build your confidence up and get used to the track, at every single event you'll have the opportunity to run a Learning to Race sticker. Now you can stick that on your car, and if you see that when you're driving around there, please make sure you give everyone a bit of a wide berth and help them learn the track and facilitate them in their learning period while they're doing that. Now, learner drivers, once you're confident, you can pull the sticker off and off you go again. But it's a great way to get started and just make sure that everyone's aware to give you a bit of room while you're learning the track or learning your racecraft. Now out there, sometimes things go wrong. If you have an emergency, if something blows up, if something falls off, just get off the track and get in a position where emergency services can come and grab you. We'll see it from the control tower and we'll be there in 2 shakes to give you a tow and to get you back to your pits to get your car fixed up. Now, the only exception to that is if you have a fire. If your car's on fire, get out of the car, get behind a barrier as quickly as you can, and we'll have the fireys there as quickly as we can to help extinguish the car and get it back to your pits once again to help you get it fixed up. So, just to reiterate, if you have an emergency, as long as your car's not on fire, stay in your car. We'll be out to get you very soon. In pit lane, every motor events racing event across the country has a maximum speed limit of 20 kilometres in pit lane. So please, we have a lot of families around. Make sure you're once again looking around, aware of your surroundings, and not flying down pit lane. If you do, we'll grab you and we'll penalise you. So take it easy in pit lane. Refueling. Now refueling is going to be the most dangerous thing you do over the whole weekend. We're refueling hot vehicles and things can go wrong. So there is a bunch of guidelines that you must abide to that we'll be watching very closely to ensure we keep everyone safe. Now the first thing to know is when you do a fuel stop, and this is only for the fuel stop, it's a minimum pit stop of 5 minutes. You can't be any quicker than 5 minutes from pit in to pit out, including refueling. When you're in the fueling area, you must be in head to toe fire gear. So you must have your race shoes on, your race socks on, your full race suit, and either a balaclava or your helmet, ideally something covering your eyes in case you get some splashback, and race gloves. There's a reason you've got fireproof gear. We want you to all to be using it. You cannot step foot in the fueling area when the track is live in anything less than that. When the car comes in to be refueled, it will be turned off, it'll be killed with your kill switch. Nothing can happen until the driver is out of the vehicle. You can only refuel. There is no tyre pressure checks, don't check your oil, no mechanical stuff. That's all done in your pit bay. Only fueling happens in that area. Now, once the driver's out, you will have fellow team members there. One will have your fuel jugs, the other one will have your fire extinguisher. They'll both be there, ready to fuel the car, and the person with the fire extinguisher will be standing there ready for action if anything happens. Once you've refueled, you can get your new driver in. You're allowed to change drivers in the fueling area. You must make sure that they are strapped in, nice and safe, turn the car on, and off they go again. Once again, things can go wrong when fueling. It's the most dangerous thing you're going to do. Slow down, take it easy, follow the rules, look after your mates, and keep it nice and safe. And one of the biggest things you're about to learn when you come to a motor events racing event is that it's always your fault. It's not mine, it's not the guy in the control tower, it's always your fault, and you have to be responsible for your actions. So, if you can't drive and you manage to get a couple wheels off the track, you better come in and tell us. If you drift around a corner, you better come in and tell us. If anything goes wrong and you don't stay on the black stuff, you have to self-penalise. Now there's a few different things that happen when you self-penalise. You'll come through pit lane, you'll come to the designated area, and you will confess your sins to us. And, depending on the breach that you have conducted, we will give you a few different options, or we may even choose for ourselves. You can choose to pay for your indiscretion by sitting in the sin bin, which is counting down some time, waiting to get back on the track. You can choose to do a team penalty, where we get all your team members and completely embarrass them doing something, which means you may get out a bit quicker. Or if you don't want to do any of that, you can bribe us. And bribing us is a tax-deductible donation that goes directly to Rare Cancers, put through our website. That'll get you back on the track, quick, smart. Now once again, depending on the problem, depending on what's happened, we may override this and you might be stuck doing something that we want you to do. If you don't self-penalise and we catch you, you're going to be in even more trouble. So please, be honest, come in and tell us what you've done, and we'll get you dealt with nice and quickly. Now when you're on track, there's going to be either some flags or some race lights, and the different lights mean different things. So, a green light means go, race resume, everything's fine, off we go again. A yellow light means caution, pull your speed back. Now the speeds may vary from track to track and event to event, but normally we pull the speed back to 80 kilometers an hour. You must maintain your position, no overtaking, don't speed up and catch up to the pack, keep spread out, and circulate until you hear from race control or see a green light or a green flag to resume. If there's a red light or a red flag, that means something has happened that we need to deal with and we need everyone off track. So, as soon as you hear the race control say red flag, you see the red flag, you see the red light, slow down once again to 80, no overtaking, and straight back into pit lane. Under red flags, you can refuel, you can change drivers, you can do whatever you want, but ideally what you do is get back in and line up in pit lane ready to go again once we've dealt with the issue and get you back out on track. Another interesting flag is a black flag, or you'd hear from race control that you've been black flagged. Now if you've been black flagged, there's either something wrong with your car that we want to come and have a look at, or there's something wrong with you, as in you're not doing a very good job driving, and we've got to have a chat to you. So if you find yourself black flagged, the next time you're passing pit lane, you would come straight in and come straight to the motor events admin or penalty area, and we'll have a chat and see why you've been black flagged. Other than that, you're going to hear a bunch of very specific stuff for each event at driver's briefing. So please make sure you're paying attention, make sure you're there to have some fun, and we'll see you on the track real soon.